Hi there and welcome back to Into Vietnam, the daily and exclusive business update on the local economy. It's September the 4th and here are the headlines. Vietnam climbs 2 notches in the Global Competitiveness Index. Unemployment rate falls thanks to economic recovery. And manufacturing sees drop in new orders. The World Economic Forum released its Global Competitiveness Report 2014-2015 on September the 3rd, citing Vietnam as having improved by 2 notches to 68th from last year's 70th. According to the World Economic Forum's report, Vietnam ranks the 6th in the Southeast Asian region, trailing after Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Transportation infrastructure and energy improved slightly to the 81 position. The country's commodity market effectiveness also improved to the 78th. The brightest spot in the country's competitiveness is its 49th ranking for the labor market and the 34th for the market scale. Vietnam's finance market development ranked in the 90th position. But the World Economic Forum said its finance and banking industry is vulnerable to risk, as local businesses are still slow in applying new technologies in production and business. Vietnam's technology readiness stay low at 99th position. Ernst & Young, the world's leading audit agency, has released the Q2 Outlook report on 25 fastest-growing economies, including Vietnam. In contrast with its optimistic report in the first quarter of 2014, Ernst & Young is quite prudent in Vietnamese market in the context of gloomy trade prospects in Asia. The agency lowered Vietnam GDP growth outlook in 2015 from 6.4% in February report to 6%. However, in midterm, the growth will gain momentum to reach 6 to 7% per annum in 2016-2017 period, thanks to spurred foreign direct investment and exports. The deflation trend in the economy is forecast to decrease in 2014-2018 period, supported by the continued trade balance of payment and improved condition of energy shortage. Thanks to a trade surplus since 2011 and trade balance impacts on the domestic currency and inflation, Vietnam dropped from the 4th most vulnerable economy in Ernst & Young February report to the 11th position among 25 fast-growing economies traced by the agency. According to a report released by the Ministry of Labor, Invalid and Social Affairs, Vietnam's economic recovery has led to a decline in the country's unemployment rate.
The report on labor market updates covering the first half of 2014 provides forecasts and analysis based on the latest data from the General Statistics Office, or GSO. It reveals that the country's gross domestic product, or GDP, in the second quarter of the year was 5.2%, which was higher than the 5% GDP registered in the first quarter of the year. According to the report, the growth in GDP had a positive impact on the structure of the labor market and employment and led to a decline in the urban and youth unemployment rate in the second quarter. As of July the 1st, overall unemployment rate was 1.84%, the lowest recorded in the last 5 quarters. The number of unemployed people of working age stood at 871,800, a decrease of nearly 174,000 compared with that of the first quarter of this year, and a decrease of 155,000 compared with that of the same period last year.
The HSBC Purchasing Manager Index for August suggests another slight loss of momentum in the Vietnamese manufacturing sector as output growth slowed and news order fell slightly. Released on September the 3rd, the PMI, a snapshot of operating conditions in the manufacturing sector, posted 50.3 last month, down from 51.7 in July. The index was obtained through a poll of purchase executives in around 400 manufacturing companies, with a value of about 50 showing an overall increase and below 50 an overall fall. In August, PMI fell for the fourth consecutive month to signal the weakest improvement in business conditions since last November. Behind the weakest rise in output was the fall of new orders. Falling new orders led backlogs of work to decrease for the fourth straight month, albeit only modestly. Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng has given his stamp of approval for an unprecedented renewable energy project utilizing wind power, with funds mainly provided by the German government. The four-year project, set to be carried out from 2014 to 2018, has an estimated cost of 3.7 million euros. Of the total, 3.6 million euros is sourced from the German government's official development assistance, and the remainder comes from Vietnamese state budget. It aims to explore the potential of wind power in Vietnam by creating an interactive database to assess the impact of wind energy development and joining plans for wind power generation. The project is expected to utilize cutting-edge wind energy technology and increase the national capacity of Vietnam in wind energy development and management. According to a report released by CBRE, although Vietnam hotels saw positive performance in the Q2 of 2014, growth is partially across the markets and segmentations. Foreign visitors to the country in the first 8 months hit nearly 5.47 million, rising 12.2% on year. CBRE says the strong growth in tourist arrivals during the period reflect the resilience of the tourism and travel industry in Asia-Pacific as the global economy continues to recover. The ongoing growth and rising incomes of the Asian middle class are also contributing towards an increase in demand for international travel. An estimated 8,000 top-tier hotel rooms will be completed in the 3 cities over the next 2 to 3 years. Outlook for the hotel market remains positive given the anticipated regional and local economic recovery. After nearly 50 years of its establishment, ASEAN is moving closer to a new milestone, which is forming a common economic community. Accordingly, the ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC, is expected to be established in 2015, and Vietnam is a member country. The event is imminent, and despite long-term cooperative relations with ASEAN countries, many of Vietnamese businesses still do not comprehend about the bloc, particularly the AEC.
When the Asian Economic Community is established, it is seen as a turning point marking comprehensive integration of the Southeast Asian economies. ASEAN will be a single market, a common space for production. Tariffs will be removed, non-tariff barriers will be reduced gradually. To make full use of this advantage, enterprises should comprehend clearly and specifically about the legal framework as well as the rules this community makes on member countries. However, at present, according to many Vietnamese enterprises themselves, the comprehension of most businesses is still limited, which will be a huge challenge for Vietnam's economy in the future.
Khi mà mở cửa như vậy thì cái doanh nghiệp của chúng ta chuẩn bị cũng chưa đủ trong vấn đề hiểu biết về vấn đề các cái quy định về tập tục, phong tục, tập quán thương mại của các nước ASEAN nhiều. Nói chung là từ lúc mà chúng ta tham gia ASEAN lâu rồi đến bây giờ thì chúng ta cũng đã học rất là nhiều biết rồi. Nhưng bây giờ khi mà họ thay đổi tất cả những cái lộ trình như vậy mà chúng ta vào mà chúng ta không có một cái sự chuẩn bị thì cơ bản theo tôi nghĩ là mình sẽ gặp cái khó khăn trong cái thời gian tới.
According to the ILO statistics, only 46% of respondents said they fully understood the impact of the AEC for their business. So according to authorities, limited comprehension has made enterprises face many difficulties when engaging in regional and international trade markets.
Trình độ ngoại ngữ để mà tham gia vào cộng đồng đối với Việt Nam thì cũng còn nhiều hạn chế, bởi vì rất nhiều các cái doanh nhân cũng như là trong các cái doanh nghiệp chúng ta về trình độ ngoại ngữ. So với những năm trước đây thì chúng ta tiến bộ rất nhiều, nhưng để mà chúng ta có thể tham gia vào hội nhập một cách bình đẳng để mà đàm phán về mặt đầu tư cũng như là các cái hợp đồng về mặt thương mại, tranh chấp thương mại thì cũng rất là nhiều khó khăn. Rất nhiều những cái vấn đề hiểu biết về mặt thương hiệu, hiểu biết về chất lượng sản phẩm. Ví dụ bây giờ chúng ta xuất khẩu hàng hóa, một số những cái tiêu chuẩn người ta quy định về mặt tiêu chuẩn kỹ thuật rồi là không được, ví dụ như là xuất khẩu về thủy sản thì không được đưa những cái chất mà cấm vào, nhưng mà sản phẩm của chúng ta khi xuất đi vẫn bị trả về, bởi vì là cái hiểu biết của chúng ta về mặt chất lượng cũng như về mặt tiêu chuẩn hàng hóa còn rất là hạn chế và còn làm theo cái bản năng nhiều hơn là theo các cái tiêu chuẩn mà hội nhập.
According to experts, in order to improve competitiveness and to get into the economic market in the region, enterprises need to make a lot of efforts, especially in understanding legal requirements of product standards, conditions, as well as strict rules on goods posed by the economic community.
Thế thực ra trong quá trình phát triển, chúng ta so với lại cái đà tiến của các nước ASEAN, những chất mang tính chất pháp lý, mang như là về tiêu chuẩn sản phẩm, về điều kiện quy tắc, về vấn đề sản xuất, về chế biến, về nhãn hàng, về thị hiếu, về hệ thống kiểm tra, thì chúng ta còn có những vấn đề khoảng cách nhất định đối với các nước ASEAN. Mà thời gian thì gần đến để năm 2015 rồi, cho nên cái sự nỗ lực của toàn thể doanh nghiệp, để toàn thể các hệ thống quản lý nhà nước của mình để gia nhập với ASEAN là một cái thử thách rất lớn. Nếu không có thì chúng ta sẽ cái mức độ tụt hậu nó sẽ có cái trầm trọng hơn.
ASEAN Economic Community is a stable, prosperous, and highly competitive economic environment, but also poses significant challenges. Therefore, as present, businesses need to be flexible and responsive to find out and grasp opportunities for export expansion. Enterprises need to capture information, build capacity, and apply new policies to create competitive advantages, particularly export ones.
And now the program will wrap up with local gold prices, forex and stock market on September the 4th. Well, that's the news on VITV. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. You can also follow us on our website at www.vitv.vn. Goodbye and see you later.